What if the same technology that understands your words could also understand images, videos, medical scans, and even sequences of data? That's the power of transformers, and they're no longer just behind chatbots. They're becoming one of the most important architectures in modern AI. In this video, we'll demystify how transformers work beyond text. We'll start with how data is broken into tokens, then explore how attention helps a model decide what matters most, how multi-head self-attention captures different relationships, and why the combination of self-attention and MLP layers makes transformers so flexible. By the end, you'll understand why transformers are reshaping not only language AI, but vision, prediction, and sequence modeling across almost every field. Let's get into it.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are taking a really thrilling journey under the hood of modern artificial intelligence. I mean, have you ever actually wondered about the T in ChatGPT? Well, it stands for transformer, and today we're not just going to talk about it from a high level, we're going to completely demystify exactly how it works. We're going to follow the fascinating step-by-step journey of a single piece of data from the exact moment it enters this architectural marvel all the way to the moment it leaves as a highly intelligent prediction. It's going to be a lot of fun. To ground ourselves right off the bat, let's look at the formal definition. A transformer is basically a neural network component that learns useful representations of sequences or sets of data points. Now, I know that might sound a little bit academic, but this exact architecture has driven massive, literally earth-shattering advances in everything from natural language processing to computer vision. It is, without a doubt, the bedrock of the current AI revolution. So here is our roadmap for today. We've got 5 key steps to get through. First, chopping up our data. Second, connecting the dots. Third, diving into the transformer block itself. Fourth, exploring why order matters. And finally, customizing for specific tasks. Let's not waste any time and jump right in.
Step 1. Tokens and chopping up our data.
Okay, so before a transformer can do anything at all, it needs its raw data formatted in a very specific way. This is a process called tokenization. I want you to think of it kind of like taking a massive jigsaw puzzle and breaking it apart into individual pieces. The transformer can't just swallow an entire image or an entire book all at once. Instead, it breaks an image into smaller visual patches or a paragraph into a sequence of individual words. Each of these puzzle pieces is then translated into a list of numbers, which we call a token, so that the computer can actually understand it. And this is what illustrates the supreme flexibility of the transformer architecture. It is absolutely brilliant. Whether you're feeding the model a sequence of words from a novel or a set of visual patches from a digital photograph, it treats them exactly the same way, just as a sequence of tokens. You don't need some totally different handcrafted program for text versus images. You just chop the data up into tokens and let the transformer handle the rest of the heavy lifting. Step 2, self-attention. This is where we start connecting the dots. Once we actually have our puzzle pieces, how do they relate to each other? Well, imagine you're at a really loud, crowded cocktail party. Even with all that background noise, you can somehow focus your attention on the specific voice of the person you're talking to, right? The transformer does exactly this, through a mechanism called self-attention. It mathematically compares every single token against every other token to figure out which ones are highly relevant to each other and which ones are just background noise. What's really fascinating about this process is the concept of asymmetric attention, because sometimes relationships are just a one-way street. For example, take the phrase caulking iron. A caulking iron is definitely a tool, so it relies heavily on the word tool to give it context. But the word tool itself is super broad. It could mean a hammer, a saw, a drill, so it only weakly associates back to caulking iron. The transformer handles this one-way relationship using a clever lock-and-key mechanism, which allows one token to care deeply about another without that feeling having to be mutual. But honestly, why stop at just one way of paying attention? The transformer uses something called multi-head self-attention, and that just means it's employing multiple sets of self-attention at the exact same time. Think of it like a team of editors all reading the exact same sentence. One editor is paying close attention to the grammar, another is analyzing the emotional tone, and maybe a third is tracking the timeline of events. By using multiple heads simultaneously like this, pairs of tokens can be recognized as similar in some dimensions and totally different in others, capturing incredibly rich context. Which brings us to step 3, the transformer block, the real engine room. This is the main engine room where all the heavy mathematical lifting actually happens. It basically has two main jobs that it repeats over and over again. Step one is that self-attention we just talked about, gathering advice and context from all the other tokens. Step two is a much more localized processing layer. If step one is like gathering advice from all your friends, step two is like sitting alone in your room, processing all that advice and updating your own personal worldview based on what you learned. As our data flows through these alternating layers, gathering advice, then reflecting on it, it undergoes some really intense mathematical transformations. But there's a risk here. As data gets transformed layer after layer after layer, the math can actually get pretty unstable and spiral totally out of control. To fix this, the block uses residual connections and normalization. Think of them exactly like shock absorbers on a car. They basically bypass the main bumps and keep the math grounded and stable, ensuring the model keeps learning without crashing. Moving to step 4, why order matters, and how we fix a major architectural flaw. So we've seen how tokens are processed, but there's a massive catch. Transformers naturally treat data as a completely unordered set, kind of like words just thrown haphazardly into a bag. Listen to these two sentences. Herbivores eat plants, and plants eat herbivores. To you and me, one is a basic fact of nature, and the other is a terrifying sci-fi movie. But to a raw transformer, these two identical bags of words look exactly the same. It literally has no idea what order they arrived in. So how on earth do we fix this flaw? The answer is something called position encoding. We simply include the location of each token right into the token itself. Imagine dropping a 500-page manuscript all over the floor. To put it back together, you don't need to invent a brand new way of reading. You just need page numbers stamped on the corner of every single sheet. Position encoding is that stamp. It completely restores the sequence order without forcing us to change the brilliantly flexible architecture we've already built. Finally, step 5, customizing tasks for specific applications. All right, so the data has been tokenized, attended to, run through multiple engine blocks, and kept in the right order. How do we actually get a useful answer at the very end? Well, we customize the exit. If the job is language modeling, like with ChatGPT, the model is tweaked to predict the probability of the very next word. But if the job is spotting a tumor in a medical X-ray, we don't want it to spit out words. Instead, we add a special fixed token at the start. By the time that token passes through all the layers, it gathers a global summary of the whole image to spit out a single, precise label. And there's one really neat trick specifically used for generating language. When we are training a model to predict the next word, it learns by looking at a sequence it already knows. But if it can see every token at once, it could just cheat by peeking at the future words. To stop this, the transformer applies what's called a mask. Think of it exactly like putting blinders on a resource. It actively forces the model to only look backwards at the past words, ensuring it genuinely learns to predict the future rather than just cheating off the answer key. So we've seen how the transformer effortlessly handles text and images by chopping them into pieces, connecting them with attention, and preserving their order. It really is an architecture of breathtaking elegance and raw power. But here is the thought I want to leave you with today. If absolutely anything that can be chopped into pieces and sequenced can be understood by this engine, what other types of data could you sequence and feed into a transformer? Weather patterns? Human DNA? The global financial markets? The potential is unbelievably vast, and we are quite literally only just beginning to tap into it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.